Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Shabbat class, 28th of December, 2024. Okay, we'll be dealing with Jubilees, chapter 22. We'll read that and break it down and we'll do a comparison and contrast with uh, Genesis 14 and verses 13 to 22. Okay, go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos you can look at, examine. The videos will lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And we have our cash app at the bottom of the screen for anybody that wants to support the channel. This is a non-Messianic channel. By that, I mean we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called book of remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. Shalom and welcome to the channel. Welcome to our evening Shabbat class. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, Sabbath prayer, Psalms, current events, need to know information. Then we go into our topic, which is Jubilees chapter 22. Okay? It's a moment of silence for the Lord of hosts and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay? O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore, we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face, looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David and Solomon, Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and righteousness of heart. Okay? For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, keep your commandments and your testimony, your statutes with all our heart and all our soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea. Hear and do, O Lord, and hide not thy face from us, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go to some read the Psalms right quick. My bad. We'll read the Psalms right quick. I think it's Psalm 17. Okay. Okay. In Psalm 17, she has a prayer for protection against the oppressor. To hear the right, O Lord, attend unto my cry, give ear unto my prayer, and goeth not out friends' lips, and let my sinners come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night, and thou hast tried me, and shall find nothing. I am proposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the words of men, by the words of thy lips have I kept me from the path of the destroyer. Hold up my goings in thy path, that my footsteps slide not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O God. Incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by the right hand them which put their trust in thee, from those that rise up against them. Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, and from my deadly enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down on the earth, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in the secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is with thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and who barely they fill with their hidden treasures. They are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness, and I shall be satisfied when I awake, or with thy likeness. So go to verse 8. It says, keep me as the apple of thy eye, and hide me under the shadow of thy wings. And we see this a lot in a lot of those songs. So it's actually telling you who you're dealing with. Because whoever you're dealing with got wings. We know y'all, we don't have no wings. Okay. Any comments on that? No comments? Okay. We go to some current events.
CDC has now officially confirmed that the bird flu has likely mutated inside of a patient in Louisiana, making it more transmissible. That is a huge, huge concern. This is why the CDC and many health experts are now officially concerned that this is spreading, and we don't have a handle on it just yet. I'm going to explain more on this in just a moment, what is going on, what we've seen in states like Hawaii, California, and beyond, and what is coming for Donald Trump. So I'll explain all this in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So let's get right down to it. Just look at this. It says bird flu virus in Louisiana patient likely mutated to be more transmissible. That is according to the CDC. Now, I want you to hear it. I want you to see for yourself what is actually happening. Look at this right here.
Tonight, the Centers for Disease Control finding potentially concerning new mutations in the bird flu from a patient recently hospitalized with a serious case of the virus.
The CDC found that this version of the virus had additional mutations that made it attach to upper airway cells more easily, hinting at a better ability to infect people. That being said, this was only found in the individual that was sick, and there's no reason to believe that this version of the virus is spread more broadly.
But right there. So it makes it more transmissible, okay? It attaches itself to the upper respiratory system. That right there is, we've heard it before. Remember, we just went through COVID, okay? So this potential pandemic is concerning. It's alarming to say the least. Now, said right there at the end that this isn't something that is spreading more broadly, okay? It's concerning right now because this has only been detected in one person. But listen to the rest of this and you'll see why experts are extremely concerned. Let's keep listening.
The agency making it clear that the risk to the general public has not changed and remains low. The CDC has confirmed at least 65 cases of bird flu in people in the U.S. this year.
Now, 65 cases in people this year, mainly from people that have worked on farms and pretty much handling poultry every single day, okay? That's probably not you, but there's something else that's even more alarming that an expert that I recently talked to said to me. This is why I'm giving you these updates. Let's keep listening.
They're monitoring more than 10,000 exposures, but they've only tested 530. What does that mean? That means we're not testing enough. And we know from other viruses that a lot of the spread can be asymptomatic.
For now, the greatest risk may be to animals.
Right there. The greatest risk may be to animals. Now, I want to read you this as well, okay? Because this is where things are troubling. This is where things are getting out of hand. Look at this right here. It says, the unidentified patient who was hospitalized with serious respiratory symptoms is believed to have contracted bird flu from exposure to sick and dead birds in a backyard flock, okay? So here's where I talked to a friend of mine. And when I talked to him the last time, I didn't really think too much of this, but I went back to our conversation. And this is what he said. So he does. I wouldn't call him a disease expert, but he's in that field. Okay, he does research. So in my opinion, he's an expert, but technically for him, he says he's not. I asked him, how close are we to human transmission? This is his response. He said, and I quote, "It's not about how close we are necessarily. Let me paint you this picture. You have a flock of infected birds that are flying overhead and they poop, or they decide to land in your yard and relieve themselves there. Now, they have just left infected feces in your yard. Your dog sees it and decides he's going to eat it. From there, your dog now has been infected and you decide to play with your dog. Now, you run the risk of getting infected, and so does everybody that your dog comes in contact with. So, do you see why human transmission is not the only threat here?" That's what he said. Again, keep this in mind. They're saying the greatest threat is to animals, not to humans. But again, where experts are deeply concerned is, yes, animals could get it, but as more and more animals get it, you've already seen poultry has gotten it, right? It's the bird flu. We've seen dolphins have gotten it. We've seen house cats have gotten it just recently. Even here in the state of Washington, we've been seeing so many different reports. Even a wildlife sanctuary in Shelton, Washington, just recently, I think 20 of their animals died because of bird flu. So yes, it's in cats, but it's also in cattle, right? And we've also heard many reports that it's in dogs. So, and even pigs, and pigs have a very close system like us humans. So again, that's where we're at. Now, I want to read you something else. Look at this right here. It says the CDC has stressed there has been no known transmission of the virus from the Louisiana patient to anyone else. That's good news. Okay, that's good news that this patient, and we don't know much about this patient other than it's likely a 65 or older person, just has a little bit of health problems. That's it. But it goes on to say, the agency said its findings about the mutations were concerning, but the risk to the general public from the outbreak has not changed and remains low.
Anybody got any comments on that? Anybody heard anything about that?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, sir, I did, and they were saying that the person contracted it from what they call backyard flocks, right? So I'm assuming from maybe chickens or something they had at home, but they're saying that it's severe. So not understanding really what that means, because what I was reading, they had all these numbers connected to it, like D1.1 genotype and all that. So they're speaking in language where we really don't know what they're talking about. You have to do more research. But they said they got it from their backyard flock.
Right. Same thing he just said.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay.
Shalom. I had just seen that I'm sorry, like a few, maybe it was last year, but the Edomite guy, Fauci, they were talking about this, that the bird flu was gonna be the next
Right.
it
Exactly.
was gonna be the next pandemic or epidemic, whatever the correct term is, but he was saying that was gonna happen this year.
Right. Yeah, I heard that too. Right. Right. And they look like they're trying to line it up. The way
They
things
are.
going.
And right, yes, sir. I was gonna say, and they are. I mean, they got it in Canada and Washington State, I know too. Which they're not doing much talk about it, but really, what really caught my attention is that this case that's in Louisiana, they're saying is severe.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's a start of, like Brother AJ just said, the next pandemic, because they got to make something somewhere seem very serious.
Right. Got to start somewhere
Right.
to justify it. Is that something? Oh, yeah. We got another one right here.
If you belong as Africa or the African countries that are under the control or the watch, or if you want the collaboration with the United States of America under AFRICOM, are you safe in the event of war when you are part of an arrangement over which you have no control? Are you safe? Are you a target for others because you are collaborated? Are you safe from their intelligence? Are you safe from their scrutiny? The answer is no.
Hello, Habari Africa. Welcome all my dear Africans, friends, colleagues here in the continent, and those who are in the diaspora. I hope that you're okay, you're doing well, and you are prepared to enter the new year 2025. And of course, let me wish you the happy new year. And of course, the new year 2025 will be is going to give Africa a new chairperson of the African Union. Musa Faki is going home, and the new one is coming in. But all of my dear kings and queens, as we are approaching to the year 2025, Senegal has announced to close all foreign military bases in its territory.
So we got 3 more countries that stepped up and kicking out all the Western army, all the Western militaries. So Ghana, Botswana, and Senegal, right? So like I was saying earlier,
also
these you can see the stage being set for us to leave here. It's got to be somewhere for us already in preparation for us to go to when we leave here, and you can see it unfolding.
To reform the CFA flag. You know that CFA flag is controlled by France, so Senegal want freedom in the issue of currency as well as sovereignty. So from there, let me share my thoughts, and of course, I want you to share with me your thoughts through the comment section. What do you see the future of Africa after some countries, for instance, this is a process started in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and later on Chad, and now Senegal has joined the chain to close these foreign bases. All of us, we know very well that these foreign military bases are being used sometimes to train people who are not good to our governments, to supply some goods and equipment to those who are destabilizing our countries. So
it's now 7 countries. You said Chad, then you got Ghana, Botswana, and Senegal. They all unite with Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. Any comments on that?
So long. Yeah, brother Leonard, that's strong, man. Cause along with them, I seen that Torre went in the line with Rwanda too.
Right.
Cause and I was wondering why that was so important, but from what I see, they said like Rwanda like has the the best CIA type of operation going on.
Well,
yeah, yes, sir.
They do, and that guy is real. He's actually a military man. The
Right.
president. Yeah, his history is in military. He's not in government. So he's just gonna fit right in there. And not only that, he's a militant. So you can see all that that's unfolding right in front of our face with preparations. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, there we go.
AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I find it absolutely hilarious that the trending topic and the things that the news is reporting on right now, right after the holidays, is how many people are catching diseases, HIV, and getting 2-for-1s like they used to do in Houston, but they still doing in Houston. And that the number one trending thing that I keep seeing on my algorithm, crazy, is that Atlanta is number 3, which I think is probably closer to number 1 unless you factor in Houston. That Atlanta is number 3 when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, STIs, and HIV transmissions. But here's the key, and I'm gonna hit on this on multiple different fronts. When I go into the comments to see some of the, what people are saying, whether it's a news or somebody that's speaking about what the circumstances is, you know what they're saying? They're not saying, hey, we need to move a little differently. We need to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, we get married and we don't even put ourselves in this position. Maybe we need to go to different areas. Maybe we need to do more preventative and have the discipline, or, figure out the people that we shouldn't be with, or we need to be abstinent and move a little bit differently, or anything like that. You know what they're saying? Make sure you take PrEP. Make sure you take PrEP. Do you know that I didn't even know anything about PrEP until I started paying attention to what people were saying on the internet, and then I started seeing conversations and comments about PrEP? I still am not familiar with it. And this is one of the reasons, before I even get into what's going on down there in these places, this is one of the reasons why I am very, very comfortable in my skin being what they call a quote unquote lame, because lames live to be 80 and 90 years old unless some crazy disaster happened. But lames don't have to worry about their penis burning all day long because they got the clap or they got some wild disease. One of the things that's so beneficial for me in particular about being married is that I don't have to worry about some of the same stuff. I go through life more focused and worried on about how it is that I can reduce my tax bill and ensure that my daughter don't have to pay for college than I do about whether or not this chick got a disease that I'm about to bust down. I don't have the same problems because I'm not even interested in putting myself in that position. And that's the real solution. Before we even get to the problem, I want to be solutions-based oriented going into the new year. The real solution is, how can I proactively, we've always reacted to some stuff. How come they don't have more people to treat this disease and this and that? I ain't trying to catch it in the first place. And so being proactive means, how can I avoid getting a monster? How can I avoid being one of those people that have to get on TikTok or one of these platforms, which I heard TikTok is going away anyway. I ain't even researched that. But how can I avoid being one of those people that don't have to worry about the idea that you're not going to be on here telling some horrific story from something that you can control? And that's the key. You can control it. You can control who it is that you sleep with, who you open up your legs to. I did a review video earlier this week of a chick that basically was telling her story about how she had to cipher through 3 different men and call 3 different men to see what their reactions were to what her story is. Now, I was going to do the reaction video anyway because you guys sent it to me, and I appreciate y'all for that. But one of the things that I like to do if the story is compelling enough is to actually reach out to the person first to find out if they want to tell their story or if they have anything that they want to convey over to the people. And I've done that earlier this year. That went very well. We still cool. But I like to reach out to the people to find out what their perspective is on this thing, because it's their story, Why not leverage a big platform to have that conversation? Because I think that those are conversations that are hidden, and people just, kind of try to deal with it on their own secretly, reactively instead of proactively. This chick was so mad. I mean, she replied to me so angrily.
Are you tired?
Okay. Any comments on that? Think about that.
Shalom. That brother Leonard, this why we had the laws, and this a result of us not being under the laws no more.
Right. Being lawless.
Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir. Anything goes.
Right. And like I was saying before, when you're dealing with the Creator and dealing with the Most High and the heaven, nothing don't last forever. Especially if you out of pocket, don't think it's gonna last forever. because judgment coming.
This thing that you're talking about, the laws are done away with. Wasn't that what the whole Mardi Gras based upon? That was a day of lawlessness,
Right,
and even
exactly.
Christmas too, the same thing.
Right, and the Purge, the movie series, The Purge, all that's about
Yep.
the same thing. It's going against the laws of the Most High.
Yep.
He has set in place. Ain't that something? Yeah. Anybody else got anything on that? No comments? Okay, I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about something they heard on this line or something they came across? They want to talk about it, share it? Questions?
Yeah. Does anybody know what those things are that's flying around the sky? I mean, I see them even here, like all the time.
Talking about the drones?
I don't know if they're drones. I mean, like I said, I have at least 20 videos, and these things, what they're doing is aerodynamically impossible. You can't go
Oh,
in one direction and then go straight up, equal speed like that. I mean, it's like impossible. But that's what it does.
so have you encountered one?
I have a whole slew of videos that
So would you say all? You said what would you say? What would you say? A orb? Or are you seeing that it's a drone? Hello. Okay, yeah. Anybody else got any questions or comments about anything they want to talk about?
Oh, shalom though, brother Leonard. Kind of about the drones too. Just I was looking at Burkina Faso that Torre got drones too that
Right.
his engineers made, and they're specifically using them for information, and
Right.
those drones, regardless of what they're doing over here in Israel, they got to be doing the same thing, right?
Exactly. Right.
Mm.
And then they got a lot of. I can imagine they're using them. A lot of them for reconnaissance, because they
Right.
France and America, they send all kind of them terrorist organizations. They all funded by the West, and they trying to close in on Mali, Burkina Faso, and all that. They're using those so-called terrorist groups to do it, and that's where Putin and all them coming in. Go ahead.
and what about? I mean, besides that, there's also orbs, and these are intelligent. They're not just floating bubbles. I mean, what are
Right.
these things? I mean, I'm catching them on camera. People are finding them in their homes, and they're getting attacked by these things, or they're getting sick. They haven't moved out of their homes, and I've seen them in my home. Only that I rebuke them, and I never had problems with them physically, but they knocked out my cameras outside. I mean, I could see them floating around and knocking out my camera. So what is
Okay.
that? It's not something physical. You can't see it unless you have infrared.
Yeah. Did you hear about the video this morning about the containers? The guy was saying that they was taking containers off of those ships, and it has like a special people coming in and there's some certain connexes they couldn't deal with, and some they was had priorities on them, no letters, no numbers, and then the guy said whatever was inside of them was causing the equipment to malfunction. So like I
Wow.
was saying, well, I don't think that that's separate. I think all this can coordinate all that together. It's all tied together. Whatever they finna do, it's all tied. It's all tied together. Yeah, and
It looks like it's coordinated.
right. Like it's like I guess I would say black ops, because they said these people would come in when certain containers get there, and they already told them that they was highly classified and nobody could deal with them. And then they already have people there and equipment to move it to wherever they're gonna go with it. They have the people at the port authority have no control over it. All they doing is moving it around for them. They have no access to the inside of it, nothing to do with it. And the guy from all the descriptions is animals. It's some kind of creature. You know what I'm saying? Because he said that when he was the guy that was loading the plane, and then they said that they told him they was empty, but the guy said they was super heavy, and then whatever was in it was moving because so the way when he operated it, the container is shifting, whatever in there is moving back and forth or whatever. So yeah, that's crazy right there. Is there something? Okay, anybody else heard anything about that or did an investigation on it? Okay.
I have not heard anything about that either.
Yeah, we played that video this morning for the Sabbath, for the Shabbat class. Okay, keep your eyes out for it. You know, might something come up, we can get an update. Okay. So yeah, anybody heard about this right here? I'm gonna play this and then we go in and go into our Jubilee chapter 22. About this first black speaker of the house. Anybody heard about that?
Like, no, sir. First black speaker of the house, like currently.
Well, it's in the makings after what happened with
Not Jeffries.
Well, Jeffries in the it's two of them, but Jeffries is more on this other guy. Let me play the video, then we'll talk about it. This guy right here.
Officially for Speaker?
I am a candidate officially to run for Speaker of the House. Look, let's be very clear.
Madam Speaker, I would like to rise to nominate Byron Donalds for Speaker of the House.
Taking legal faith to decide and to go out there and putting my name on the line, and frankly, putting my family on the line. And let's just be honest,
already know he told.
We are right, and the Democrats are just crazy and wrong.
We're gonna stop woke is bullshit.
Look, history judges us for what we do. This is a critical time right now. I think providing lethal aid to Ukraine right now is critically important.
I just feel like we got played.
In bipartisan fashion, with overwhelming majority of votes, we passed the American Relief Act of 2025.
That guy Speaker Johnson messed up this last thing that went down with the budget bill. He tried to slide something in there, and he got caught with it. So nobody want to deal with him no more. That's where the conversation going on now is to get another speaker, and Jeffers is one of them. But this dude right here is the one they're looking to, Brian or Donald.
What about if it's all a trick? What about if all these people are all boule, including all the judges that, I just can't see the white man being generous like that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, they definitely boule. They're saying, and then it's a the question been going around that Trump don't have no blacks on his committee, in his cabinet. So they trying to, all that's in the play. They're trying to throw everybody off because everybody already focused in on the 20th, and they got Project 25 in the back of their head, so they're trying to subvert all that and throw it off. Right.
Yep. I agree.
Right. Trashing it and then all voting for it. That makes you feel like something went wrong.
You're saying Jeffries, Johnson, McConnell,
the firm. It's an historic moment. It's fallen apart. And as a result, somebody's going to have to lose their job over this. I don't think the speaker is going to remain in power. If I'm correct in that, and I think I am, we need bold new leadership.
Imagine never having to sleep in a vice again. With 0 SNSL.
Just some. Play a little more of that.
Boys, FAO. We cannot continue to fund a government that doesn't do its first job. The time has come for new leadership in Washington.
The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
This is a victory for the American people.
Communicating with Elon last night, he said, we understand you're in an impossible position. Everybody knows that. Remember, guys, we still have just a razor-thin margin of Republicans.
Come on in, member of the House Financial Services Committee, Byron Donalds.
The United States right now is determining whether we'll be inducting the first Black American Speaker of the House. Byron Donalds is the top choice for the position after the present Speaker, Mike Johnson's catastrophic failure to review the finance bill entirely before sending it up for a vote. Maybe a lot of people thought he was trying to get one over on him. I'm not sure, but it didn't go very well for him.
Why are you willing to risk losing your job over this Ukraine funding?
Listen, my philosophy is you do the right thing and you let the chips fall where they may. If I operated out of fear over a motion to vacate, I would never be able to do my job. Look, history judges us for what we do. This is a critical time right now, critical time on the world stage. I could make a I can make a selfish decision and do something that's different, but I'm doing here what I believe to be the right thing. I think providing lethal aid to Ukraine right now is critically important. I really do. I really do believe the intel. And
hello, everyone. We have some eye-opening information as the pieces continue moving around before the 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, takes office with his trusted allies. And I'd like to ask you all to please join this One Love family by liking and subscribing, so that when we get this fresh information out, you can get this fresh information in. Blessings and prayers to each and every one of you. Thank you. Now,
okay. Any comments on that? Anybody heard anything about it? Okay. Keep your eyes on that. Yeah. So anyway, nobody have anything, no comments. We're gonna go to our topic. I'm gonna be reading Jubilee chapter 22. And then I'm gonna cross-reference it with Genesis 14, right? So here we go. I'm in Jubilee 22. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it came to pass in the first week, in the 44th Jubilee, in the second year, that is, in the year in which Abraham died, right? That Isaac and Ishmael came from the well of oak to celebrate the Feast of Weeks, that is, the feast of the first fruits of the harvest, to Abraham, their father. And Abraham rejoiced because his two sons had come. For Isaac had many possessions in Bathsheba, right? Everybody know what Bathsheba is, right? We got a couple videos on that. You know what that is when we say it's Bathsheba? What it's about? It's not
a town.
Right. Yeah. It's not the woman. So it's a well. Abraham had he dug a bunch of wells when he came to the land of Canaan. And he dug all these wells because he had so much cattle and all that. So anyway, this is the well where in Genesis he made the oath with Amalek, right? And I was showing you how he took 7 male lambs and set them aside. Then he made a covenant with Amalek. And so Amalek asked him the question, what's the purpose of these 7 ewe lambs? Right? So I'm quite sure you know the answer. Anybody know the answer to that? Why did he choose 7 ewe lambs? Can anybody answer that? Ain't it 7 angels?
Right.
Okay, so go to Balaam. When Balak was trying to get him to curse Israel. So how many altars did Balaam build? 7. He built 7 altars with them, and a lamb on each altar. Okay, so that's what I'm keep trying to get people to see that, when they talk about, like we talked about last night, when the cloud come, we already know what's in the cloud. Yahweh not in the cloud by itself. Enoch, Ezekiel already told us who in the cloud. It's Yahweh and these four angels. That's all through the book of Enoch. They came down in Genesis 1:26. Then they came to see Abraham in Genesis 18. They came down at the Tower of Babel. So it ain't just him in the cloud. Okay. So anyway, let me keep reading. Verse 3 says, in those days, Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together, and Isaac offered. Check it out. This was jumping off the page to me when I was reading this. It said, somebody got something?
Yeah.
Okay. So in those days, Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together. Isaac offered. Check it out. Isaac offered a sacrifice for a burnt offering and presented it on the altar of his father, right, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a thanks offering and made a feast of joy before Ishmael, his brother. And Rebekah made, check it out, Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain, gave them to Jacob, her son, to take to, look at this, she made cakes and gave them to Jacob, her son, to take them to Abraham, his father, from the first fruit of the land, that he might eat and bless the creator of all things before he died. So go to Genesis 18. When the three angels came to Abraham, what he did, he went in there and Sarah made cakes. They went to the herd and to the flock, and got a calf tender and good, dressed it and cooked it, and then the three angels and Abraham and his sons ate it under the tree. But it get even deeper than that. We're gonna keep reading. It says, verse 4, he offered a thank offering, made a feast of joy before Ishmael, his brother, and Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain, gave them to Jacob, her son, to take to Abraham, his father, from the first fruit of the land, that he might eat. Check it out, that he might eat and bless the creator of all things. Remember, that's what Jacob was doing. He went and made that venison and brought it to Isaac, so Isaac can bless him. Same thing going on right here. It says, for the first fruit of the land, that he may eat and bless the creator of all things before he died. And Isaac, too, sent by the hand of Jacob to Abraham a best thanks offering, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank. See that? He ate and drank and blessed the Most High God, who have created heaven and earth, who made all the fat things. Look at that. Who made all the fat things of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink and bless their Creator. And now I give thanks to you, unto thee, my God, because thou hast caused me to see this day. And behold, I am 180 years, an old man, full of days, and all my days have been unto me peace. Then 8, the sword of the adversary have not overcame me, in all that thou hast given me and my children all the days of my life unto this day. We talked about that. Same thing with David. David didn't never get killed, right? Same person that was watching over Abraham, watching over David. 9, my God, may thy mercy and thy peace be upon thy servant and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to thee a chosen nation, an inheritance from among all the nations of the earth, from henceforth unto all the days of the generations of the earth, unto all the ages. Now here you go. 10, and he called Jacob and said, my son Jacob, may the God of all bless thee and strengthen thee to do righteousness, and his will be will before him, and may he choose thee and thy seed, that ye may become a people, for his inheritance according to his will always. And do thou, my son Jacob, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near, kissed him, and blessed him. So see all these blessings that Abraham issued out, right? Right here. Blessed be my son Jacob, and all the sons of God, the Most High, unto all ages. May God give unto him, he's going to pass away, right? And may God give unto the seed thee a seed of righteousness, and some of thy sons may uh, he sanctify in the midst of the whole earth, and may nations serve thee, and all the nations bow themselves before thy seed. Be strong in presence of me, of men, and exercise authority over all the seeds of self. Look at that, going all the way back to self. Exercise authority over all the seeds of self. Then thy ways and the ways of thy sons will be justified, so that they shall become a holy nation. May the Most High God give thee all the blessings wherewith he hath blessed me, right? And wherewith he blessed Noah and Adam. See that? May they rest on the sacred head of thy seed from generation to generation forever. And may he cleanse thee from all unrighteousness and impurities, that thou mayest be forgiven all thy transgressions and thy seed of ignorance. And may he strengthen thee and bless thee, and may thou inherit the whole earth. And may he renew his covenant with thee, that thou mayest be to him a nation. Okay? An inheritance for all ages, that he may be to thee and to thy seed a God in truth and in righteousness throughout all the days of the earth. And do thou, my son Jacob, remember my words, observe the commandments of Abraham, thy father, separate thyself from the nations, and eat not. Look at that. Well, this killed New Testament right here. See, they tell you in the New Testament, he done brought the Gentiles in, right? Abraham says, separate thyself from the nations. Eat not with them. Do not according to their works. Become not their associates, for their works are unclean, and all their ways are a pollution and an abomination and uncleanness. They offer their sacrifices to the dead, and they worship evil spirits, and they eat over the grave, and all their works are vanity and nothingness. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are, and how they are err in saying to a piece of wood, thou art God, and a stone, thou art my Lord, and thou art my deliverer. Yeah, that's what JC is. Wood and stone, and now they calling him the deliverer. And they have no heart. As for thee, my son Jacob, may the Most High God help thee, and the God of the heavens bless thee, and remove thee from their uncleanness. Yeah? And remove thee from thy uncleanness and from all their error. So how in the hell did he bring the Gentiles in? New covenant. Don't add up. Be thou aware, my son, verse 20. Be thou aware, my son Jacob, of taking a wife from any of the seeds of the daughters of the Canaan, and for all the seed is to be rooted out of the earth. For owing to the transgressions of Ham, Canaan's heir. This right here is when Canaan stole the land I told you about. That's the error that Canaan made. And all the seed will be destroyed from off the earth, and all residue thereof, and none springing from him will be saved on the day of judgment. That killed the New Testament right there. And as for all the worshipers of idols and the profane, there will be no hope for them in the land of the living, and there will be no remembrance of them on the earth. For they will descend into Sheol, those that go down to the pit, and into the place of condemnation will they go, as the children of Sodom were taken away from the earth. So will all those who worship idols be taken away. Fear not, my son Jacob, and be not dismayed, O son of Abraham. May the Most High God preserve thee from destruction, and from all the paths of error may he deliver thee. This house have I built for myself, that I may put my name upon it in the earth. It is given to thee and unto thy seed forever, and it will be named the house of Abraham. It is given to thee and unto thy seed forever. For thou wilt build my house and establish my name before God forever. And thy seed and thy name will stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased. Look at this. This is Abraham. He ceased commanding him and blessed him. And the two lay together on one bed, and Jacob slept in the bosom of Abraham, his father's father, and he kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. And he blessed him with all his heart, and said, the Most High God, God of all, creator of all, who brought me forth from Ur of the Chaldeans, see that's the Lord of hosts, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, and that I might establish a holy seed. Blessed be the Most High forever. And he blessed Jacob, and he said, my son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice. And may thy grace and thy mercy be lift up upon him and upon his seed always. And do not forsake him, nor set him at naught from henceforth until the days of eternity. And may thine eyes be open upon him and upon his seed, that thou may preserve him and bless him, and may it sanctify him as a nation for thine inheritance, and bless him with all thy blessings from henceforth unto all the days of eternity, and renew thy covenant and thy grace with him and with his seed according to all thy good pleasure unto all generations of the earth. So anybody have any comments on that before I give you my take? Anybody have any comments on it? Okay. So you see all that blessing that Abraham was doing? If you go back to Isaac, that's what Isaac was doing before he passed away. Well, it's after this, because Isaac is still alive right here. So when Isaac in King James, when Jacob and Esau came to get their blessings from Isaac, he was doing the same thing. He knew his time on the earth was short. He was pouring out blessings on his seed, seed. And by the time the boys, they was older. So by that time right here, they know which one is going to be right, which one is right when the Lord has showed them which one is right and which one is not. And the one that's right, he pouring out all these blessings on them. So notice Jacob is Abraham's grandson. But Abraham ain't pouring out all the blessings on Isaac, he pouring all of them on Jacob. Because the Most High didn't show him which one it is. And then another thing about that, before I go into show you this other thing, you go and you look at, I lost my thought. But anyway, you see all the blessings that he pouring out on Jacob. Abraham is. He blessing him, pouring all these blessings before he go. So let's go back and look at something. So a lot of revelations that come, people can't understand how you got them, but you can connect dots today and tomorrow, and now if you connect those dots, it'll bring another revelation. Okay, but you first got to get these other ones first. But anyway, if you go to Genesis chapter 14, right, and I told you that Melchizedek was a title, right? It's a man, but it's a man. He got a name. It's like the Lord of Hosts. That's a title, but the Lord of Hosts is Michael. His name is Michael, but the title is the Lord of Hosts. So right here, I'm gonna start at verse. Kill a couple of birds with one stone. So I'm in chapter 14, but I'm starting at verse 13. This is when Lot was rescued. He got caught up in that giant war, and he got taken by the giants. So I'm in verse 13 of Genesis 14. And these came one, and then there came one that had escaped and told Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plains of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol. See that? So he's Mamre is a giant, right? And then he got a brother called Eshcol, and he got another brother called Anar. These giants. These are three giants that the spies saw, right? So it says the plains of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, brother of Anar. And these were confederate with Abraham. That's what I was telling you. David got 33 mighty men with him, but then David got it from Abraham. Abraham had 300 with him. So anyway, verse 14, when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants. These are giants. His trained servants, born in his house, in his own house, 318, and they pursued them until Dan. That's 300 giants. David only had 33. So 15, and he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and he smote them, and he pursued them until Hobart, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the women also, and the people. So here we go right here. So I read all that in Jubilees 22 to show you this. So I told you Melchizedek is Abraham. I mean, Melchizedek right here is Shem. We saw what Abraham was doing, all the blessings Abraham was pouring out. So right here, I'm in verse 17. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of the Catalama and the kings that were with him at the valley of Sheba, which is the king's dale. Now here you go. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth, look at this, bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High. That's Shem. They don't want you to know that, but that's Shem. Now watch this, what he do. 19, and he blessed him. See that? Same thing Abraham doing. Shem died. Abraham, at the time before he died, Abraham is Melchizedek. He's doing the same thing right here. What Shem doing to him. 19, and he blessed him. And he said, blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And he blessed, and blessed be the Most High God, which have delivered thine enemies into thy hands. And he gave him tithes of all. See that? That's Shem. It's Abraham doing the same thing in Jubilee 22 to Jacob and Isaac, right? It says, and the king of Sodom said unto Abraham, give me persons and take the goods up for thyself. And Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread until even to a shoelace, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abraham rich. Save only that which the young men have eaten, and a portion of the men which, here we go, which went with me. Here you go. Anar, Eshcol, Mamre. See that? And let them take their portion. So these giants made sure they got theirs. But my point was to show you that that's Melchizedek. He's doing the same thing that Abraham doing in Jubilee 22. He's at the end of his life. He's blessing his seed. So one more thing I want to show you before we close out. So he said, let me go back if I can find it. I was in 22. I mentioned this before, but I didn't want to let this pass by. So it's in 22. It says, okay. Jubilee 22. He said, okay, let me see if I can find it. I start at verse 3. And in those days, Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together. Isaac offered the sacrifice, burnt offerings, and presented it to the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a thanks offering and made a feast of joy before Ishmael, his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain and gave them to Jacob, her son, to take to Abraham, his father, from the first fruits of the land, that he might eat, see that, and bless the creator of all things. Same way Melchizedek talking in chapter 14. And Isaac too sent by the hand of Jacob to Abraham a best thank offering, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank and blessed the Most High God, that's Melchizedek, who have created heaven and earth, and who have made all the fat things of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink and bless their Creator. And now I give thanks to thee, my God, because thou hast caused me to see this, and behold, I am 110 years, an old man and full of days, and all my days have been unto me peace. The sword of the adversary have not overcome me in all that thou hast given me, and my children all the days of my life unto this day. My God, may the mercy and thy peace be upon thy servant, and say blessing, and be in thy servant and upon the seeds of thy sons, that they may be to thee a chosen children, a chosen nation, and an inheritance from among all the nations of the earth, from hence until all the days of the generations of the earth, until all the ages. And he called Jacob, see that, and said, my son, see that, Isaac his son. He skipped over Isaac. He says, and he called Jacob and said, my son Jacob, may the God of all bless thee and strengthen thee to do righteousness, and his will before him, and may he chose thee and thy seed, that he may become a people for his inheritance according to his will. So this is why everything happened like it did for Jacob, because he pronounced it on him right here. It said, and do my son Jacob draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and kissed him, and he said, blessed is Melchizedek, blessed be my son Jacob, and all the sons of God most high until all the ages. May God give thee a seed of righteousness. This is what I was looking for. So see right here, may God give thee a seed of righteousness. So what is he talking about? Go back in Genesis in chapter 5, says you had Abel. Abel was righteous, right? Cain killed him. Then Adam went back into his wife Eve, and he got another seed, or another righteous seed, Seth. But it also tells you he had other sons and daughters. So he had other sons and daughters, but Seth was the righteous seed. That's why he say called. Seth was the righteous seed. He called his name Seth. The other ones, he got other sons and daughters, but he called the one Seth. That's the righteous seed he talking about right here. He said, may God give unto thee a seed of righteousness. So that's what then Seth had other sons and daughters. Then he had Canaan, the righteous seed. And he called his name Canaan. And we see that in David's lineage. Okay. Just like I told you about the seed royal. He got a whole bunch of, each one of those kings got a whole bunch of sons, but one of them is the called seed. Okay. You got something? Any comments or questions before we go? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
No comments or questions about anything before we go? Okay. I'm gonna say shalom. I'll see everybody tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Shalom,
Shalom.
and another shalom.
Shalom.